Leather and Lace. I mean, that's a song I really had nothing to do with, originally, but...
Leather and Lace was a fast-paced tune that Jim wrote
in the summer of '87, around the same time I wrote the music to First Impression. I remember those two being linked together a little bit. I also wrote another song called Bad Luck during that time period. But Leather and Lace came from a song title I had. I think it was another idea that we were going to have the album. We were going to have an album called Rude Awakening, Leather and Lace, and kind of as you do when you're a kid, you're comparing yourself to famous people, famous groups who were around at the time. And I think that Kiss had an album called Love Gun where they were sort of up there, and then there was all the girls in white makeup, down, by their feet or whatever. And I believe Jeffrey had an idea, or somebody had kicked around the idea about it, having an image of us on there and having some girls dressed like in this really kind of frilly lace type, outfits, and then some girls dressed like in these really hardcore biker chick leather outfits. You can call the album Leather Lace. Just something really, teenage, juvenile, I guess is where it came from. That album, the title was there first. I remember writing the song around it.
At the time, it was kind of like I said, it was a real fast-paced rock song.
Probably, I was consciously trying to write a song that was a Motley Crue kind of song or Poison song. It was going to be upbeat and but melodic, kind of a from the Poison album, Let Me Go to the Show or Look What the Cat Dragged In. We were very influenced by Poison's first album. And going to the Crue side, something like Live Wire or All in the Name of Rock and Roll. It was just this idea about writing a fast rock song. And it had the title Leather and Lace, and that title was already there before I wrote the song.
Leather and Lace was a song that was written about the time that we were feeling our oats, so to speak, as young men.
It was there was very much a coming of age song or writing a song because I had just, I don't even think I had my license yet. I had my license. Yeah, that was the next summer. I was almost turning 17, so I had my license. So it was this idea of being free for the first time. We were playing a lot of parties. We were playing shows where there were a lot of things going on at the concerts or the clubs or wherever we were at the time that were a lot more adult than what we were at the time. We were starting to meet girls who were very confident and more like women than just the high school girls that we'd been dating, and girls who had I wouldn't say like loose morals necessarily, but they were just sort of very confident in who they were. I mean, they just were like like people you would meet later on in their 20s or 30s, but they were maybe 18 or 19 years old at the time.
We were starting to write songs about girls, and there were the good girls in school and there were the not so good girls in school, and so you have the leather and you have the lace. And
so there was this idea within the lyrics of the Leather and Lace, leather being the more experienced, confident girls or women or whatever, and then the lace being the girls that were the typical good girls, naive girls, the girls that we would take to dances or we would ask to the prom or whatever. And then there were the girls that we'd run into at the concerts or the parties that maybe from the other side of the tracks or whatever. So lyrically, I think that's what it's alluding to that more about the different types of girls we're meeting, because up till that point, the only girls that we knew were the girls we had class with. The only experiences we had were the going to school and going to class and then driving uptown. And who do you see uptown? You see the same girls you sat with in class and whatever. Then you start being like us and you go out and you're playing clubs or you're playing parties, and you have people at these parties that are 50, 60 years old and all the way down to teenagers. And so you start meeting a wide variety of people, and that starts finding its way into your music too. It's very influential in the experiences that you're having. So
We were starting to interact with a lot of those girls. We were playing a lot of parties, and we were meeting a lot of different types of girls, and so we were writing songs about a lot of different types of girls, and that was one of the songs that came out of that situation.
I always kind of said that about the group. We were a lot older than what our birth certificate would reveal, just from all the experiences that we had at that young of age, and how much that was impressionable to us as both people and as artists and writers.
When we used to play live as Rude Awakening, we used to play All I Do.
All I Do was power pop to the max, and so we would play that. We'd play that live, and we would end with, the end of All I Do.
And it had a certain ending that would go ba 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 ba, and that ending just sort of segued into the exact same chords of Leather and Lace, which were ba 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 ba.
That happened from us playing live a lot, and sometimes you would try to have those transitions where you didn't stop every single song, and Jeffrey or Jeff or somebody would have to introduce the next song. And, sometimes you'd like to play 1 or 2 or 3 songs in a row and then take a break. And I just remember around the Shooters days, we were playing the club entitled. We were playing Leather and Lace a lot, and the end of All I Do, we just chose to end it the same way that Leather and Lace began. So we'd play the end of All I Do like, and then go, and then go right into Leather and Lace. And so when we did the album, we talked about it, and we thought that would be neat to have that part of the album where those 2 songs are joined as one song.
So we would always, we tried to work it out where we ended one song and went right into the other, which we've managed to do on the new CD.
Even though they're listed as separate tracks, and you can go to each song on the CD, or if you buy it off iTunes, you can just listen to the song and it will play. But if you listen to the album or listen to it as an entity, those 2 songs are still joined, and that came from us doing that live. In fact, I don't know if we ever played Leather and Lace live where we didn't do it that way.
And then we would go in and just burn the place down with Leather and Lace, because it was just like, Metallica. So you would go from one extreme to the other, and people's hair would just.
We actually took that to one of our studio trips. We recorded at a guy named David. We recorded at his studio and did several songs. That was one of the songs that we did there.
When we were doing this new version of all the songs, they wanted me to write a solo for it. So, I'm thinking, how can I play like that style now? I don't sit around, doing hammer-ons and arpeggios and this and that. And so we go to the studio, and Jim pulls down the Ace Frehley signature model guitar. It's got more points than a pencil factory. Got sway bars, springs, coils, flux capacitors, and expects me to go in there and do some hammering. So I just basically let it go and reverted back to being 15 years old again. And I don't know how it ended up.
We had several breaks in it where we were going to stop, and each guy was going to play a little solo or something. I didn't really work anything up, so I just kind of ended up hitting some duff notes in there that I had to listen to for the last 20 years, but I think we were able to fix it on this version of the song.